Matcha loving besties to another episode of Matcha Talks with Tam. And today we're going to be talking all about how to choose peace and happiness in your daily life. This topic is a really interesting one because of course we all want to be happy and we all chase joy and peace, and yet we find ourselves constantly in situations where we're always choosing the opposite route or action. I definitely had my own toxic trait of always choosing stress and chaos, and while that might not sound like it makes sense, it was because I found that whenever my life did get peaceful and was actually normal and stable, I found that it was so boring. Same with when good people came into my life, I found it boring. There was no spark, there were no butterflies there, and so I pushed them away or I rejected them and ended up choosing people that were consistently bad for me. And sadly, so many of us have become so accustomed to that constant noise and drama that we are unintentionally making the wrong decisions for ourselves all of the time. So grab your matcha, because in this video I'm going to be sharing all of the mindset shifts that helped me and can help you guys too, to step away from those familiar patterns and instead become the most peaceful, happiest and securest version of yourself in your life. So let's talk about the journey of creating a truly peaceful life. And I think I have to start this by mentioning probably the biggest mistake that I've made for such a long period in my life, which was spoiling what I could have been grateful for by constantly dwelling on what was yet to come or what I don't have yet. And I think some of the things that I spent so much of my life praying for, like my first 100,000 subscribers, or just the process of setting up my first business, or just graduating university, goes like that in an instant. Literally in a few seconds, because immediately I'm like, oh, but now I don't have a job. Oh, but now I need to hit 1 million subscribers. And you're constantly stuck in this never-ending loop of anxiety, and almost like you feel like you're not good enough, or your happiness is at the end of this line that just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. That line and that destination that's gonna make you happy or make you feel okay is constantly gonna get longer, because with every single thing that you do achieve that you think is actually getting you closer to the end, is not, it's pushing you further away. The destination in your life is one singular moment. The journey is the days, weeks, months, and years of pursuing the thing. So imagine if we keep sticking in this cycle of saying, I will only be okay when I have that thing. Or, oh, well, I'll stop being stressed and I'll be happy when I finish my education. That's years of your life. That's years of your life that you are literally writing off with all of the enjoyment and all of the gratitude and peace that you could experience in that for this one singular moment where you will feel happy for that day or week before another goal comes, and then it's the same old cycle. And it's so okay to think about your future and dream about being bigger. That is such an admirable trait to have, but don't forget about all of the things you have to be grateful for now that absolutely transformed my life. And you know what? Being grateful, it does not have to be big or fancy or expensive. I wake up, I'm grateful for the weather outside. I'm grateful for my ability to be able to walk to the gym in the morning. I'm grateful that my health is in the right place. Like, it's something to be so happy and so grateful about. And with all of the responsibilities that is constantly chucked at us throughout life, we're gonna forget to do these things. And that's why I think it's really important to have a daily gratitude practice where you're gonna be super intentional about those things. So for you, this could look like journaling. There are actually so many apps on the market right now where you have apps where you can like journal just a recap of your day. You could keep a video diary in your phone. When I was a teenager, I actually used to do a video diary on my Snapchat, my eyes only. And literally every day I would come back from school and I'd just talk to myself about what happened that day at school. And it's giving yourself that quality time where you can actually recap every single thing that happened in your day, so that then you can finally be consciously aware of all of the amazing things that happen to you. But it's those little things, being aware of them, that really helps raise your vibration and make you realize that your life is actually pretty amazing, even though you might not have all of the things you're wishing for right now. And this also links into creating moments that you can be grateful for, which I think is not spoken about enough. My entire life I thought happiness was something that you need to find, or that you need a certain set of circumstances in order to feel it, or in order to be okay with life, but it's so far from the truth. And happiness can be created. The power is literally all in your hands to be able to decide whether the day you're gonna have today or tomorrow is gonna be a happy one. That is all up to you. It doesn't matter what the weather's like, it doesn't matter how other people treat you, it doesn't matter what life is like at school, at work. You decide what the narrative of all of those situations look like, what your mindset is gonna be throughout all of those situations, and the meaning you put to every single experience you have throughout each day. And when you finally commit to this practice of trying to find joy in the regular, everyday, mundane moments, you actually free yourself, because now you feel less dependent on external circumstances in order to feel that happiness. Because you start making it a habit where you're like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm going, what my responsibilities are, I know I can still extract happiness from no matter what I'm going through or no matter what I'm surrounded by. So an example of this is when you have your everyday mundane activity of cooking yourself dinner, for example, right? Your mindset on the one hand could be, oh, I can't be bothered, this takes so much time, it's boring, like I can't believe I'm an adult and I have to cook for myself 3 times a day, like this is so long, I have too many other things to do, I don't have this time, right? You can then shift that once mundane, boring, horrendous task that you did not want to do to, I'm gonna play some jazz music, I'm gonna make myself a nice little mocktail or cocktail while I have it, I'm gonna put on my favorite show in the background, I'm gonna put on all of the mood lighting in my kitchen or in my apartment, wherever I am. I am gonna try out a new recipe, or I'm gonna bake myself a little sweet treat right after to just romanticize the entire experience. Oh my God, guys, this is actually the perfect time to make this point, because guess what I did this morning? I woke up and I thought I'm literally gonna have a bubble bath for myself this morning. Light candles, sit there, bath milk, bubble bath, doing a bath bomb first thing in the morning, rather than waking up at the last minute, running into the shower, trying to get ready, jumping straight into work. I thought I'm gonna have a slow morning. And just that act of having a morning routine is all of a sudden so much more exciting. I ended up having the same old work routine throughout my day, but the energy has shifted because I decided to change things up and put a little bit more magic into my day. And so now what brings me peace is these little moments that otherwise could be so easily overlooked, because you're constantly waiting for the day that you get invited to a big party, or when you're going to be celebrating yourself, when it's your birthday, when it's Christmas. But no, every single day is the occasion. Oh my God, what also links into this is one new habit I've had is every single day I wake up and I'm like, okay, I know I have all of these responsibilities, I've got emails, I've got admin, I've got work to do, but what is one thing I can do today that makes me look forward to today, that gives me some sort of joy or dopamine spike? So shall I plan a movie night for tonight? Shall I go on a really long scenic walk along a route that I've never even been, so then I can become a tourist in my own city? Shall I go on a random bike ride in the rain just because I've never done that before? Shall I start baking because it's been a few years since I've even given myself the chance to do so? And it sounds so simple, but for such a long time, I used to wake up and I would think in the opposite way. I would think about the things I wanted to avoid, which meant that every day I was waking up in kind of a mood of scarcity and fear. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. Hopefully that teacher doesn't pick on me. Hopefully no one says anything to me. I hope my outfit's gonna look right. I hope my hair's gonna look right. I hope nobody thinks this of me. It's so easy to think like that. But when you cut that out and you replace it with, oh my God, I'm gonna learn this, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna walk into that room like this, or I'm gonna wear this outfit that's gonna make me feel this way, that is when you start inviting peace into your life rather than stress. And speaking of stress, it's definitely something that we cannot easily avoid. A lot of the time, we choose chaos, or we choose people that are bad for us, not because we are self-sabotaging and not because we hate ourselves and we want to make these horrible decisions for ourselves, but rather because that chaos and that toxicity or those bad situations are just rooted in familiarity. And so if you have been so used to being raised in an environment that was loud and chaotic and maybe didn't treat you right around certain characters that maybe weren't the best for you, you are going to continuously seek out people like that in your friendship or in your relationships unintentionally, because when you receive a person who is the opposite, who is super peaceful and doesn't align to those traits that you've seen your whole life and actually does serve you and is good for you, it's going to show up as boredom, or it's going to show up as fear, or it's going to make you think this person isn't right for me, or I'm settling, or I can't be doing good for myself, because on the inside your brain is actually so scared of being in a situation where everything is uncertain. But in order to truly achieve peace, you have to start practicing the habit of going towards the things that are not familiar to you. And also, when you begin to see discomfort as just a normal, regular part of life that everybody goes through, you'll stop feeling the need to label it as something bad and something that immediately needs to be changed. Sometimes it's just about going through the experience and seeing where it takes you. When we jump to labeling things or trying to have the answer or predict the outcome, we are robbing ourselves of so much experience that we could have, because a lot of the time when you are trying to put a label on it, or when you're trying to see where it's going to go, you shut yourself off to certain things because you've already made up what the ending is going to be in your head, rather than seeing where that brand new experience could take you. Probably somewhere you've never been before, probably somewhere where there could be so much peace, but you wouldn't know that. I also cannot talk about the importance of living a peaceful life without mentioning the role that people pleasing and authenticity and validation has in trying to take it away from you. I got so much peace when I came to the realization that there is so much power in being disliked, and that does not mean that I am any less worthy or any less likable. Everybody is disliked, it's a normal part of life, and once I stopped taking it so personally, I felt so much more free. You finally feel more grounded and empowered, and most importantly, more happy, because you are doing what serves your purpose and your higher self, rather than what everybody else expects of you, which oftentimes is going to drain you of so much energy and going to drain you of doing the things that actually align to what you're meant to do in this life. And if all of your actions and behaviors and feelings are not matching up to your true desires and where you want to go to, you're never going to feel good. Plus, when you are associating how other people are reacting to you, or most importantly, how other people feel about you or perceive you, when you are linking that into how you feel about yourself, your self-worth and your inner peace is always going to slip away, because it is attached to external factors, to people outside of yourself. But the second you start to feel comfortable in who you are on your own, in spending quality time on your own, peace becomes the most consistent thing in your life, because it's always staying with you. It doesn't matter how other people are treating you or how they are reacting to you. The peace is always coming from within you, not them. And that's why I think the most important thing when it comes to bringing more peace into your life is to let go of the need of trying to make other people anything, but most importantly, trying to make other people understand. The most freeing lesson I ever learned was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and my entire life, not my biggest struggle, but one of my biggest struggles was the struggle of feeling like I was misunderstood by everybody. And that no matter how much I tried to explain myself or how much I tried to express myself, nobody would ever really get it. Nobody would ever really get me or understand me or give me the benefit of the doubt in the way that I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and so on. But once I realized that being misunderstood is such a normal part of life and is actually the most freeing thing you can go through, the more peaceful my life started to feel. Because I realized every single person views me in their own unique lens. My parents, my cousins, my friends, my grandparents, people that I meet in work environments, everybody views you based on their own projections and life beliefs and lessons they've been taught and their own traumas, that nobody else's opinion of you can ever be accurate and ever be valid. It's actually harming to yourself to expect other people to understand yourself, when really the only person that can ever have a valid opinion of you and 100% understand you is you, because you're the only one with all of the facts. It just finally helped me stay detached from everybody else's opinions of me, because I realized that they would always be wrong. But let's say you are really struggling with all of the people in your life, and maybe things just aren't good for you right now. One thing that really helped me was just knowing that no matter what phase I'm in my life, knowing that this too will pass. And if it doesn't feel like that right now, or if you feel like you're going to be stuck in this bad place in your life for a long time, I want you to think back to all of the times in your life before where you just felt like you were struggling, or that you would never see the other side, or you'd never get through it, and now you're here. And a lot of the things that you used to go through a couple of years ago don't even matter now. You can't even feel the effects of it. You can't even remember why you were so sad. And in fact, those struggles might feel so trivial to you now and what you're going through right now, because guess what? You got through them. And when you realize that, then you free up all of this space and all of this energy to start seeking out the fun in your everyday, because you're not so worried about fixing the problem or trying to make it go away or trying to figure out how long it's going to stay there for. You know it's only there to serve you, and it's going to go just like every other stressor you ever experienced will. But in the meantime, you can divert your attention to all of the things you have to be grateful for that day instead. And that brings us to the end of this Matcha Talks episode. Oh my god, that was episode 2. I loved it. I loved just like this informal, just chatting with you guys vibe. I really hope you guys liked it. If you did, please comment down below. Let me know if anything resonated with you, or let me know what topics you would like to be the theme of the next few Matcha Talks episodes. I hope you had your nice little favorite beverage and you were sipping on this and you were all cozy like me while watching this, because that would have been a vibe. You know, we're just catching up. I'm just telling you some of my deep thoughts. So I love the vibe of these videos. But I will see you guys same time next Friday for a brand new video. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you next week for a new one. I appreciate you. Bye.